you guys have a better idea on how Petra Kucha works? 20 slides, 20 seconds, rapid fire, don't lose interest.
You can get some photos with the stormtroopers later.
It's about to get really corporate right now, so no personal stories or anything emotional or charitable is going to come out of the next discussion. This is all about you. It's how you can be more successful, get ahead, and it's also time for my credential slide. So the reason why you should listen and pay attention to what I have to say today is because I'm really, really successful, and I'm extremely rich. I have a beautiful wife, a huge house, endless amounts of cash. I travel all over the world, endlessly happy. And so the tips I'm going to give you today are all really, really going to help you, okay? So first of all, my mum used to say, if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing well. And what that means is that you should change your approach to getting tasks done, whether it's in your current job or it's about finding a new one, by ignoring try and making it will or won't. Now, Fitbit, ironically, they called me and asked me if I wanted to work for them today. No kidding. But we're moving into a space where it's easy to quantify what you do. So what I suggest is that you quantify your goals and you will reach them much, much more easily. You've got to stop failing on things like dry January. Just take a look at Sabrina for real life evidence of how not to stay sober in this month. So in order to stop failing on promises, I have an idea for you. And that is to use something called OKRs, which is something that we can steal from Google, which is where you start off with your big ass objectives, and then you map key results to the objectives, and then you put your weekly plans in place, which basically feed those results and those objectives. Stop networking, people. Now, when I talk about networking, I'm talking about the classic kind of networking, like, I wonder what that guy or girl can do for me. You know, you've got to stop thinking like that. There is a way to network which is going to work a lot better for you than the way you're approaching it at the moment. And it doesn't involve being outspoken or anything like that. All it means is follow through with a very straightforward philosophy. And that is add value with every interaction. Just like Andre was saying about the good morning thing, you know, he's right. And even doing something as simple as just saying good morning, you're going to be adding value to somebody's day, helping the whole species, the whole human race. So it's absolutely critical that you try to add value to other people and stop thinking about the value for yourself when you're involved in a networking event or a scenario. The other thing is quit quitting. I know there's a lot of young people in the audience, and what that means is you're probably likely to leave your job in the next 6 months. You guys, we employ 8,000 people in Asia, and you guys leave us all the time. In fact, our turnover rate is so high, I have to hire about 3,000 people every single year. Please stop doing this. You're not helping yourselves. You're not going to get to Olympic gold by quitting your job every 18 months, I promise you. The only way you're going to achieve mastery in something is to stick at it. So quit quitting. Any gossips in the room? We've all had those water cooler moments where we're just hammering somebody that we work with. Please stop doing that. It is not a good thing to do. If you're going to talk about somebody, if you're going to say something, and I'm talking about in office and out of the office, ask yourself these things first. Is what you're saying true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? You know, again, start with good morning. Anyone recognize this guy? Okay, so he hooked up with a guy called Walter White, and he ended up in a lot of trouble. And it's very easy, because you guys are moving jobs all the time, like every 18 months, you've got to move on. I'm sick of this, I'll move on. So please, if you are going to rush into the next job, I have a piece of advice for you, which is use Glassdoor. Anyone know Glassdoor? Really big in the States right now. This is the real truth about the company that wants to hire you, you know? And you should definitely make time to check it out, because there's a lot of nuggets of insight in there, good and bad. You know, I interview probably about 3 to 5 people every single day, 5 days a week, for the whole year. It gets incredibly boring. A lot of people say this to me: I want to learn. I want to learn in my next, very important to me to learn. I want to learn. And you know, I get so sick of hearing it. So I've just started asking them this question. And what I'd like you to think about is, what, you know, if you want to learn, what do you want to learn and why haven't you learned it where you're working at the moment? Just think about it for a second. It's really important to show and demonstrate what you can do. So here's another interesting trend that's happening. A lot of companies are no longer asking for degrees, okay? I know in Asia, we love degrees. Everyone has a degree. But I've got to tell you, the company I work for, we don't give a shit whether you have a degree or not, okay? We care about a lot of other stuff, but one thing we certainly don't care about is whether you have a degree or not. So my advice is, not that education is bad, but that micro-learning, things like Lynda, Udemy, and other sites where you can just access short-form video content learning, boom, learn something, do it, figure it out, and then tell people about it. Okay, final thing. Whew. So, what is the most in-demand skill worldwide according to LinkedIn? Every single region, every single country. My man was up here trying to help you guys out, talking about economics. And it's hard to make economics sound interesting, but believe me, the final tip I will give you is be a data scientist. If you want to be employable in the next X years, learn to tell stories with data. Because if you can crack that and you can make that interesting, you know, you don't need to be a hardcore programmer to be a data scientist. But it's important to be one. So we should all learn to become data scientists. And with that, I thank you.